Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to the top 10 best American national anthem performances of all time. Now, this is going to be a fun one because there are probably per year at least 1,000 sporting events where the national anthem is going to be either played or sung live by a musician. So over the course of the last, let's say, 50 years, we're talking 50,000 potential live performances. So to whittle this down to the top 10 is going to be, to make it onto this list, it's either got to be just spectacular singing or there's got to be some level of creativity to it. I would expect to see Whitney Houston somewhere on this list. Like, surely she's got to make it onto this list. I will be shocked if she doesn't make it onto this list. So yeah, let's find out. Let's do it.
Does anybody have a tissue we can borrow? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 American anthem performances that will make you cry. For this list, we're taking a look at the most emotional, passionate, and moving American anthem performances of all time. We'll only be including performances that were positively received. So, Roseanne Barr's infamous rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner, which undoubtedly drove many to tears, will not be considered.
I need to watch hers. Oh my God. What
Number
the
10,
heck?
Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock.
Hendrix. Wow. This is what I mean, like a unique take, right?
By the time Jimi Hendrix took the stage at Woodstock, the once mighty crowd of 400,000 had shrunk to a paltry 30,000. The last to perform at the multi-day festival, Hendrix delivered one of its most memorable performances, with his rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner widely considered one of the cultural watersheds of the 1960s.
Wow.
In his biography of Hendrix, Room Full of Mirrors, Charles R. Cross labeled the psychedelic version of the national anthem, quote, part of the 60s zeitgeist. Armed with only a guitar, Hendrix took the most famous song in American history and made it his own. And if that's not the mark of a truly great artist, we don't know what is.
You're damn right. His guitar control is just ridiculous.
Number 9.
Isn't it crazy that he died, I think he was 24 when he died. It was either 24 or 27, and he's still spoken about as such a legendary musician, like one of the greatest guitarists ever. And he only lived to 24. Nuts.
Luther Vandross at Super Bowl 31.
Oh, say, can you see?
Legendary R&B,
voice.
soul, and pop singer Luther Vandross was tapped to sing the national anthem at Super Bowl 31, which was held in New Orleans, Louisiana, often referred to as the Velvet Voice thanks to his silky smooth delivery. Vandross's performance is often considered one of the best in Super Bowl history. The winner eschewed theatrics in favor of a stripped-down performance that highlighted his delicate vocal style.
Just a classic, rendition of it.
While an exciting game between eventual winners, the Green Bay Packers, and their opponents, the New England Patriots, dominated the sports headlines the following day, music aficionados were still reeling from Luther Vandross's poignant rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
And the whole
One of my favorite things about the national anthem at the Super Bowl is the flyover. That's just got to be, it's the coolest, or it's in the top 3 coolest parts of the NFL, I think.
Number 8, Faith Hill at Super Bowl 34.
Another Super Bowl performance. Oh, I love the
Country
bagpipes.
music icon Faith Hill knew she just completed one of the best American anthem performances of all time when she raised her fist in the air and let out a triumphant. From the moment the camera settles in on Hill's face, it's clear the Mississippi native is locked in, with the ensuing rendition leaving little doubt that she had prepared for this exact moment for years.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn
It's got to be one of the highlights of her career.
original's performance may have been overshadowed by one of the greatest Super Bowl finishes of all time, but looking back, it's clear that this was as close to a perfect anthem as you are likely to find. Seriously, we dare you to find a single misstep. Number 7.
Hearing that as one of the players will just get you so hyped. You're like ready to run through a brick wall.
The Dixie Chicks at Super Bowl 37. In a twist of irony that's truly stranger than fiction, the Dixie Chicks went from performing the American national anthem at Super Bowl 37 in San Diego to being boycotted by the American public and blacklisted by the media in only a matter of weeks.
What did they do?
The result of comments made by lead singer Natalie Maines, who criticized then-President George W. Bush for his proposed invasion of Iraq, the Dixie Chicks became the most hated band in America seemingly overnight. As such, few remember just how impactful and unabashedly patriotic their Super Bowl performance was. The Grammy winners captivated the crowd with their flawlessly intertwined harmonies, and left throngs of grown men weeping in the process.
The harmony sounds great.
Number 6.
What do you guys think of the Dixie Chicks now? Like, you know, now that 20 years has passed since the whole invasion of Iraq, like, do you still see them as unpatriotic, or, you know, based on everything that's happened in Iraq and Afghanistan, do you sort of see things a bit differently?
Kelly Clarkson at Super Bowl 46.
And now, to honor America, two-time Grammy Award winner Kelly Clarkson.
A decade removed from her star-making turn on American Idol,
Kelly
Clarkson once again found herself front and center on one of the biggest stages in the world.
She's kind of vanished.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Before the New York Giants and New England Patriots could duke it out for football supremacy for the second time in 4 years, they first had to come together to listen to Clarkson's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. And what a rendition it was. The Grammy winner, who was supported by a line of drummers and a choir, picked up steam throughout the performance, culminating in a final note that is sure to bring a tear to your eye.
Class. Do they get paid for singing the national anthem? Like, because I would think that you'd feel sort of like obligated, like if you were asked to do it, it'd be such a big, you know, such a flattery, you know, such a honor really, but they probably still get paid, don't they?
Number 5, Lady Gaga at Super Bowl 50.
Oh, say, can you see?
Super Bowl 50 was so important to the NFL that they eschewed their long-standing tradition of using Roman numerals in favor of a simple 5-0. Their desire to make this Super Bowl stand out from the rest of the pack didn't stop there, however, as evidenced by their decision to have Lady Gaga sing the national anthem.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
She's an actress, that lady who was doing the sign language. I recognise her.
We can think of few artists better equipped to deliver a standout performance than Gaga, whose impressive vocal range has netted her universal acclaim and pretty much all the awards. Dressed in a sparkly red suit and accompanied by Alex Smith on piano, Gaga belted out a rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner that was
Whenever they show like the troops, you know.
Gaga belted acclaim and
I was trying to find the clip with the troops in Afghanistan. I find that really sort of like awesome that they're watching it they're taking the time out to enjoy the game too.
Pretty much all the awards. Dressed in a sparkly red suit and accompanied by Alex Smith on piano, Gaga belted out a rendition of the
There you
Star-Spangled
go.
Banner that was entirely her own.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
That guy on the right, he was like, ugh.
If this performance doesn't send shivers down your spine, you might just be a robot.
Wow, that last note.
Number 4, Mariah Carey at Super Bowl 36.
Mariah, great voice, amazing voice, amazing voice.
Super Bowl 36 took place less than 6 months after the horrific September 11th terrorist attacks.
Wow.
As such, there was no shortage of passionate performances during the pregame and halftime shows. From Mary J. Blige and Mark Anthony's moving rendition of America the Beautiful, to Paul McCartney's Freedom, and of course, the epic and emotionally charged halftime show by U2. However, no performance galvanized the crowd quite like the one Mariah Carey delivered.
Oh, the ramparts you watched were so gallantly streaming.
There wasn't a dry eye in the house when Carey took to the stage to perform the Star-Spangled Banner. For one brief shining moment, Carey, with the help of the Boston Pops Orchestra, made America forget about 9/11, and instead invited its citizens to bask in the beauty of her voice.
And the rockets were clear, the
She's an amazing voice, Mariah Carey. The high notes she can reach, just ridiculous.
Number 3, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, can you imagine being in the stadium, so it's just shortly after what happened, like on 9/11, just the emotion in there must have been just crazy, just at an all-time high.
At Super Bowl 43.
Jennifer Hudson has a fantastic voice too.
Can you see by the dawn's early light?
In the fall of
That guy was
2008,
glassy-eyed.
Jennifer Hudson's world was turned upside down when her mother, her brother, and her 7-year-old nephew were murdered. In the wake of the tragedy,
What?
Hudson withdrew from the public eye for months. So when she decided
Oh
to make
my
her first
God.
public appearance since the shooting at Super Bowl 43 in Tampa Bay, Florida, the crowd and everyone watching from
Wow.
home were well aware of what she'd been through.
That I
Oh my God. Wow, unreal voice.
The
Unreal.
knowledge of Hudson's recent pain and the power of her vocal performance were enough to send a shiver down the spine of her most ardent critic. Today, Hudson's performance is widely considered one of the greatest in Super Bowl history.
For sure. God. Wow. The power in the voice. Jeez
Number 2,
Louise.
Beyonce at Super Bowl 38.
Beyonce.
Winner of 24 Grammy Awards
If Whitney Houston isn't number 1, I'm going to throw this MacBook at the wall. This video may not make it onto YouTube.
and one of the best-selling musicians of all time.
She
Beyonce
better be
could
number
sing the
1.
national anthem at the Super Bowl every year and no one would bat an eye.
Can you see by the dawn's early light?
While her delicate rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at the 2013 presidential inauguration ceremony is nothing to scoff at, we decided to go with a performance that hit a little closer to home for the superstar.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
In 2004, the Super
It's good, but I still feel like Jennifer Hudson's one was better. Unless we've not reached the crescendo, but Jennifer Hudson, I think, beats Beyonce here.
The Super Bowl was held in Beyonce's hometown of Houston, Texas, making her an ideal candidate to sing the pregame anthem. Queen Bee's distinctive voice reverberated throughout the stadium, enveloping the crowd with its soulful tones. With her impressive vocal range on full display, Beyonce knocked this performance out of the park. Stadium.
She's giving it her all. I still give it to Hudson.
Feeling patriotic yet? Well, we've got even more renditions of the Star-Spangled Banner to get through before we find out the anthem performance that will make you cry the most.
Love it!
So let's remove our hats and caps
Need
and
to see it
please
in
rise
person.
for these honorable mentions.
Through the night.
Wow, that guy's bawling out, man. He's crying.
And I was flying. It was still there.
Marvin Gaye, wow.
And bright star.
Wow, now this is different, eh? Oh, this is awesome. Listen to the harmony. Wow. Alicia Keys, another great singer.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel
Show
and
me
ring the
Whitney
bell to get
Houston.
notified about our latest videos.
It has
you
to
have
be.
the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on
The anticipation.
notifications. Number 1.
Yes,
Whitney Houston
it
at
had
Super
to
Bowl
be.
25.
It had to be.
The gold standard when it comes to American anthem performances, Whitney
Absolutely.
Houston's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner will go down in history as the greatest ever.
Absolutely.
Period.
The power of her voice is like, yet the control is
Accompanied
still
by the
there.
Florida Orchestra, Houston captivated the crowd with her dramatic and heartfelt vocal performance. The country was engaged in the Gulf War at the time, so patriotic sentiment was at an all-time high. As such, Houston's flawless performance struck a strong chord with Americans, and the song was later released as a single.
Wow.
It was so popular, in fact, that it would go on to crack the Billboard Hot 100's top 20.
Wow.
Simply put, in the pantheon of national anthem performances,
Crazy.
Whitney Houston stands alone.
So her singing the national anthem got into the top 20 songs on the Billboard 100. That's just insane. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston. Crazy voice.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip
Wow.
from Watch Mojo.
Great list, fantastic list. I agree with pretty much everything aside from, in my opinion, Jennifer Hudson doing a better job than Beyonce. Let me know if you guys disagree. I'm sure a lot of you will disagree, but I just felt like, just based on what my preferences are, you know, I want power, I want vocal range, I want to see the effort on the singer, on their face, and Jennifer had all of that, especially considering what she'd gone through. You know, the loss of her mother and brother, fairly close to that performance, just having that background information, just crazy, crazy, crazy. I have her just behind Whitney Houston, yeah, for sure. Fantastic list. Whitney Houston had to be number one. She had to be number one. Just nobody comes close to her in terms of the volume that she could reach and the vocal range that she had. Despite being, you know, quite a small lady, she was capable of producing all of that. You know, it was just insane, ridiculous. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.